All right. Welcome, one and all, to the Off the Rails Sports Podcast. I am your host, John. And if you could kindly hit that like and subscribe button, it means a lot to us. Even Snoopy likes us. And we're going to recap Saturday, June 21st. God, we're almost through June. Year's almost half done. Oh, my Lord, Lord, Lord. And now we're kind of in the dog days of baseball. But you know what? It's still something. I still love baseball. I think it really is my favorite sport. Let us, if you could, hit that like and subscribe button. It means something to us. And also leave some comments. It's nice. We're going to recap Saturday. And let's start out with, which I consider the best tournament in all of sports, the NCAA baseball tournament. Cade Anderson of LSU was superb. I mean, he was amazing. Struck out 10. LSU beat Coastal Carolina 1-0. Snapped a 26-game winning streak for Coastal Carolina. They're one game away from the title, LSU. Now they have, the second game. If Coastal Carolina can win it, we have a game 3. If not, LSU is your champion. Honestly, I'm rooting for Coastal Carolina. LSU is, pure blood. They are one of the heavy hitters here. I'm always rooting for the little guy to win a big title in the NCAA. I mean, I don't think I'm ever going to see it in basketball. Butler came close twice. George Mason, things like that. But for the most part, not really. Not so much. LSU, yeah, we could do that. I think in hockey, a couple years ago, we had Denver. University of Denver win a title, which was nice. God, man, come on. Come on, Coastal Carolina. Come on. For the little guy. For really this is a Hoosiers type of story, even though they are damn good. Let's talk about MMA. Jon Jones, considered the GOAT by most, the greatest fighter in MMA history. At 37 is supposedly retiring. I believe he's retiring when I believe Kiss is retiring, but let's just go with the whole thing that Dana White, who is just an idiot on an idiot, came out in a press conference and said Tom Aspinall is going to be our new champ. Basically for the last 2 years, Jon Jones has been teasing this fight, and then all of a sudden he pulls out. It's just terrible. Dana White forces the fighters to fight each other because he has a monopoly on what goes on in this system. But man, it just smells to high heaven. Jones moved up from light heavyweight in 2023. Cyril Game is who he beat. Then he defended his title one time in the heavyweight division against Stipe Miocic. And, I'm not buying he's retired. I'm going to tell you what I think is going on. I think he's just going to go out, gonna chill. He has some legal problems leaving the scene of an accident in New Mexico. I think Brock Lesnar is still out there. I don't think he's going to fight Aspinall. I just don't think there's enough money. I think he's looking for, Conor McGregor money, Ngannou money, and you're just not going to get that in UFC. Just no way. It's just never going to happen. So we will see. UFC is negotiating new rights deals. They're trying to get $1 billion a year. We will see. That would be a way to kind of entice the suitors back to the table. All right. In all of sports, I don't think there's anything as magical as Game 7. We do have a Game 7 in the NBA, the first one since 2016, when the Cleveland Cavaliers defeated the Golden State Warriors. OKC at home against the Indiana Pacers. The line's 8.5. I really do like Indiana here. I think it's going to be a real close game. I do think this is that chance where Indiana could actually pull the upset. I am going to take OKC, but I would definitely take Indiana plus the points. Just saying. All right, let's go to MLB baseball. And, it still hurts my heart that the Red Sox traded away Rafael Devers, and I just, for the life of me, don't understand why they didn't put it out there to, every team in baseball except the Yankees. I want to spit. I just want to spit. Well, Devers, after going 0 for 4 yesterday with 4 strikeouts, went deep against Brian Bello. The San Francisco Giants beat the Red Sox 3-2. And here's the lament I have, and I'll talk to Brian about it on Monday. Is I root for the Red Sox, but part of me wants them to lose so it doesn't elevate Craig Breslow and John Henry for this bullshit decision they made. I mean, I saw a list of all the guys they've gotten rid of in the last 10 years. Sale, Bogarts, Betts, JD Martinez. I mean, if you want to just, I guess I keep sounding like a broken record. F them. Just F them, man. Why don't we trade Craig Breslow and John Henry, okay, for a can of soda? All right, let's talk about what's going on in the world of baseball. We have the Rays beating the Tigers. Wow, holy hell. What the hell? How did we get to that? Give me a second there. Hold on, Turbo. They beat them 8-3. Pepiot got the win over Hunter. Hunter's actually having a great year for the Tigers. He's 2-3, but he's got a 2.39 ERA. Actually, pretty impressive. The Yankees almost had a combined no-hitter against the Orioles, which I don't know if you have a no-hitter against the Orioles, if that actually counts. The Orioles got one hit. Schmidt was the winner, 4-3 with a 2.8. Actually, Schmidt's been very solid for them. I thought he really emerged last year in the playoffs, especially against Kansas City. He's just he's just another solid link there, and especially for a pitching staff that lost Garrett Cole to start the year. Rodon, Fried, Schmidt, they've been really, really stellar. The Brewers beat the Twins 9-0. The Cardinals beat the Reds 6-5. De La Cruz had some heat stroke issues. They beat him in 11. Let's get to the Cubs beating the Mariners 10-7. And the Mariners, they were slow. They were moving along 7-8 games over 500. They are 38-37. One game over 500. I can already tell you how this story ends. They end at 500 when they should have been 90-72. But hey, you start to get angry, John. You start to get angry. Blue Jays beat the White Sox 7-1. Berrios gets the win. He's 3-3 with a 3.5 ERA. I actually think in the AL East, I said this before the year. I thought they had the best starting rotation. It seems like New York does, but they still have a really, really solid rotation going on. The Rangers took the second game in a row from Pittsburgh, won 3-2. Rocker got the win. He's won 2 in a row. The Red Sox, like I said, fell to the Giants 3-2. The Braves beat the Marlins 7-0. I just feel bad for the Marlins. They're 30-45. God, I wish they just, we're talking about, I think, John Henry should sell, and I look at the Marlins and I'm like, God forbid you're a fan of that team. Jesus Christ. The Padres beat the Royals 5-1. Cease got the win. I watched Cease, and that guy's just got electric stuff. I don't know how anybody ever hits him, but he always seems to lose. He's 3-6 on the year. Diamondbacks beat the Rockies 5-3 because, hey, if you don't, we got to stop those 3-game winning streaks. The Angels smashed up the Astros 9-1. Soriano looked great. I watched that game. He looked like a really, really top end pitcher. Pretty impressive. Guardians beat the Athletics 4-2. Ortiz got your win. And finally, the Nationals went into Dodger Stadium and beat them 7-3. And Dustin May took the loss. Dustin May's come back from Tommy John surgery a couple years ago. He just never seemed to be the same. I mean, I look at that guy's stuff. It looks wicked. It looks amazing, but everybody just lights him up. What am I going to say? That's just the way that guy is. All right. If you could, hit the like and subscribe button, leave some comments, and we'll see you soon on Off the Rails Sports Podcast.